I would like to draw attention to a post I put up on April 19th, 2019. Today is May 1st, 2019, when I am recording this video. If you've not yet read the post that I have on the screen, I do want to encourage you to do so. On Instagram, you will find it just several posts back from this video. The post covers the significance of the time frame April 19th through May 1st to the Satanic, bloodthirsty occult. It focuses on a couple of dates, April 19th and the day of April 30th through May 1st, and these dates are particularly important to the occult during this time frame. I'm going to focus on those dates here. Let's start with the date April 19th. April 19th to the occult is a day that requires fire sacrifice. And throughout history, they've repeatedly used this date to pull off some of their most heinous, violent false flag attacks. Events such as the Battle of Lexington would be included in that. The Waco, Texas mass murders, where the government burnt a whole bunch of people alive in buildings, men, women, and children alike. That event took place on April 19th. The Oklahoma City bombing in the 90s, fiery bombs that killed a whole bunch of children. That event took place on April 19th as well, and other events throughout history that are similar. Now, unfortunately, they still use these dates, and I don't think they're going to stop until time is finished here. And we did see this come true in the year 2019 on the Gregorian calendar as well. Let's take a look at a couple examples of events that have happened recently. Now, this is by no means all-inclusive. It's just a couple examples. The night of April 18th going into the 19th, we had fiery protests break out in Derry, Ireland. Now, the first article I read on this, and I'm not saying I trust the news, you know that, but the first article that I read on this claimed that about 100 firebombs were thrown around here in these violent riots, and a journalist was killed as well in those riots. In Venezuela, where the U.S. continues to cause chaos until they have full control over the wealth of oil resources over there, fiery riots broke out in Venezuela as well on April 19th. More like they continued because they'd been going on, but once again we had fiery bombs being thrown around in Venezuela. So there are a couple examples. Now, some people have asked, is the Notre Dame fire related to this? And while it's a legitimate question, the truth is it did not fall within this time frame of April 19th through May 1st. It happened before, on April 15th. Now, April 15th is actually an interesting date as well because there are other disasters that have repeatedly happened on April 15th throughout history as well. Violence, assassinations, and other events. But for the purposes of this video, since it does not fall within this time frame, I'm not going to be focusing on the Notre Dame fire. That being said, everything I've looked at regarding the Notre Dame fire tells me it was not an accident. It wasn't done by somebody smoking or some electrical fault or whatever other reasons they've come up with. I do think it was done intentionally by the occult, and in that sense it would be a fire sacrifice on their part, because after all it was an occultic cathedral. But moving on, let's go on to the date of April 30th through May 1st. This date is one of the highest, if not the highest date on the Druidic witches calendar. It is a very important date to the Satanic occult because it is a day that requires human sacrifice. So, whether in private behind closed doors or in public hidden right before our eyes, or both, and it likely is both, the system has drawn blood on this very important date to them. Let's look at an example of how they have drawn blood. We supposedly, on April 30th, had a shooting breakout in North Carolina on the UNC campus, another false flag attack. Now keep in mind that false flag does not mean nobody died, but those who would have died in this attack, human sacrifice. It does have signs of a false flag attack, meaning an event that the system instigated for their agenda. Now, over the years, I've taught you how to analyze false flags, to look for patterns, typical signs, and red flags of a false flag. And what I've taught you is deep. deeper than most people go, that's for sure. But even what I've taught you so far, it goes even deeper than that. The system loves to leave their fingerprints all over different events that they stage, that they cause to happen, or that they take advantage of. And you'll often find these numbers and the dates that they choose to pull these events off on. The dates will correlate with numbers that are important to the occult. They'll leave numbers scattered all over articles and reports that correlate with numbers that are important to them. And you can actually even break down words into numerical values, and you'll often find their fingerprints there as well. If you're familiar with numerology and gematria, that's what I'm talking about. The system is very passionate about numbers and symbolism. So, to look at an example, let's take a look first of all at who the system says was responsible for this shooting. They say it was an individual aged 22 named Tristan Andrew Terrell. First of all, they say he was 22 years old. Why does that matter? Well, the number 22 is one of the most central numbers to the occult. Very important number to them. And if you do a little searching, you'll find that this number 22 is associated with a whole bunch of occultic actions. Just do a little digging. So he just happens to be 22 years old. Coincidence, right? I think not. They also say his name was Tristan Andrew Terrell. Notice how they often spell out the names fully like this. But if you take the name Tristan Andrew Terrell, copy it, paste it into a gematria calculator such as gematrinator.com, which is a very useful site, you'll notice in full reduction his name breaks down to the number 92. The number 92 is deeply associated with black magic witchcraft. So this stuff is real, my friends, and I want to encourage you to keep a watchful eye, know their agenda, know the dates that are important to them, and be careful. But look for their fingerprints whenever you see the media drawing attention to events like this. This stuff is real. It's demonic. It's satanic. The occult that is at the center of the system of oppression despises our Creator, and therefore they despise us. And they despise this world that our Creator made for us. And so, as you study them, you'll notice they want to undo everything beautiful. They hate everything beautiful. They want to defeat our Creator. I don't think that's possible, but that's what they want. They know their time is ticking, though, and so before their demise, they seek to undo humanity. They want to see us wiped out. And they also want to undo everything beautiful as far as creation goes, and that's why they damage the earth. That's why they're causing as much destruction as they possibly can. So I hope this helps you understand them more, but know their time is coming when our Creator returns. Until then, keep a watchful eye, be careful, and I'll talk to you next time.